Definitely. That's why I said I don't argue with people about that. Like, I don't understand the reason for arguing with somebody about whether or not another person is racist. Like, why do that? So I agree with you on that part. I guess I just missed the part where that conversation was had.
I think that this is the last thing I'll say, I promise. I do think that we had gotten to a point where, because there's always going to be racism, I do believe we had progressed to a point where we could live amongst each other without it being such a blatant thing. It may have been underhanded and passive, but it wasn't so blatant. Now, so I would never blame it on Trump, but certainly since his era, it's gotten a little bit more permissible, I think, over time, until it's exploding. And that plays out, I think, here on Clubhouse. It is easier to play out on Clubhouse because basically no one knows who anyone else is. And so I think we see it here because we're on Clubhouse, kind of anonymous for the most part, and it makes it more comfortable when you're not saying it in somebody's face. But because Trump gets on a microphone and others and say the things out loud that used to just be said in private spaces, is becoming more, more common. And I do think that that's a sad place that we are, because I think that is definitely a backward movement.
I don't do it by default. I mean, if you are, there are people we know, especially the white folks we know that are not real. They're here right in this room all the time. April is far from that. Aaron is far from that. Dark Aaron is far from that. So we understand that based on conversation that we've had, but I also understand that, again, fundamentally, that everyone is born into it, and they are trying, if they are good, if they arrive in the places that April or Aaron or Dark Aaron have, it is because they have worked on it. They have worked on becoming that. So by default, they are born into a system that prioritizes and they benefit from. So they understand that. But if they get to a point where they're not, where they're in April or Aaron or Dark Aaron, it's because they've worked to get to that place. So it's not as if I treat them any differently because I even understand that, because I think that's giving away my position. The one thing about being racist is that it's not, you're not so much a critical thinker, and are more emotional. That is a tenet of people who are racist and who endorse by passively or actively. So I think, to answer your question, I don't go around with wearing my feelings on my sleeve. I don't do that, but I definitely don't try to ignore it when I see it. When I see it, I acknowledge it, and then I don't let off you. Especially for people who passively or actively endorse it, i.e. the Trents, i.e. the Anthonys. They are to be, and then even the Pepes or whoever the people are. You stay at them about that. But and then to some degree, it's like there's sometimes when I don't have to engage them, because they as far as I'm concerned, I really believe this fundamentally, that you are beneath me. I don't have to address you. So, but in the instances where it makes sense, I do address it. And I'm not going to act like it doesn't exist, and I'm not trying to also build coalitions with them. I'm not trying to find commonality with them just so that I can get along and maybe somehow change their mind at some point. I am not interested in that. That is their work to do, not mine.
I just want to shout all of you out. I think you're all amazing. You know that. I should tell you more. But it is a thing. Racism is a thing. The privilege of a white person is a thing. You must always keep front and